Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have an update for you on what's going on with Israel and the Gaza war against Hamas. Okay, I've got a few updates here. So the latest here is that Israel has given an ultimatum to Hamas, and they basically told them that they are demanding that they release the hostages or they're going to invade on March 10th. Now, what is March 10th? Well, March 10th is the Muslim holy day of Ramadan. Okay, I guess it's just a very big holy day over there in the Middle East, I'm assuming. And they're claiming here that if these hostages are not home by March 10th, that the fighting will continue, including in Rafah, meaning that the IDF will move into Rafah. Okay, and if you look here on your screen, this picture here, the left side of the screen, the left side of that white line is what Rafah used to look like. Now look at it on the right side of your screen. Look at how many people are inside of Rafah. There is well over 1 million people there. And people are warning all throughout the world. Lots of top officials in countries are warning and saying, do not go into Rafah because it will be a major catastrophe. Many people are going to get killed because just understand this, there's well over 1 million people just in this one town, right? Let me give you a perspective here. There used to be approximately 150,000 or so, give or take, people that lived here. Now there's well over 1 million people living in tents and refugee camps and wherever they can sleep, wherever they can live. They're just all over the place in this city. Okay, so, and also in Gaza, Gaza had approximately 2.3 million, I believe. I may be off a little bit, but somewhere around 2 million people were living inside of Gaza at the time before the war began. So basically, at least half, if not more, of the population of Gaza is inside that one city. So imagine if the uh, casualties were extremely bad throughout the war when everybody was spread all throughout the Gaza Strip. Imagine what the casualty rate is going to be just from this one city being attacked. I mean, we're going to have tens of thousands of people, thousands for sure, dying every single day while this battle's going on in Rafah if they don't evacuate these people. Now, the IDF had a plan, or Benjamin Netanyahu, prime minister, had a plan to remove these people and put them on the beach, basically. But I don't see how they're going to be able to do that. I don't know if they're doing that right now, but they were going to be removing everybody, evacuating them, and putting them on the beach of Gaza and set up, thousands upon thousands of tents for them. That's going to be funded by the U.S. and Arab nations around Israel. So I don't know if that's going on, but what we do know is that this operation is going to begin soon, okay? They're going to go in. I'm pretty certain they're going to go in by March 10th. So let's go into this article here. Let's jump right in and talk about this. This one's on the Hill. So it says here, Israeli officials appear to have set a deadline to invade the southern Gaza city of Rafah, the largest refugee camp in the coastal territory, for the Muslim holy day of Ramadan on March 10th. So March 10th, what is today? February 20th. So this is only 20 days away, not even 3 weeks, and they're going to be moving in if the hostages are not released. Benny Gantz, a member of the Israeli War Cabinet, delivered an ultimatum at a Sunday event with the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, an umbrella group for the American Jewish community. The world must know, and Hamas leaders must know, that if by Ramadan the hostages are not home, then the fighting will continue, including in Rafah, Gantz said at the event. So see, the fighting will continue, including in Rafah. They will move in. Israel has argued it must move into Rafah, which hosts more than 1 million Palestinians sheltering from the war, to ensure the complete military defeat of the Palestinian militant group, Hamas. But the looming offensive is spurring major concerns for human rights groups and emergency responders on the ground, who warned that any invasion of Rafah could trigger a huge loss of civilian life and upend humanitarian efforts in the Gaza Strip. So you see what I mean? This really is going to go bad. Okay, this is not people just warning this. This really is going to go bad. It's very obvious. Okay, if nearly 30,000 people have been killed throughout the entire Gaza Strip while this fighting has gone on, it'll probably be 30,000, if not more, just in this one city that get killed if they don't get these people out of here before the fighting begins. So many countries are warning, don't go in. But I'm telling you, Benjamin Netanyahu is hell bent here, and he is planning to go in no matter what. Whether they get these people out, whether no matter what Hamas says, whatever ceasefire agreements are made, he's not willing to negotiate, and he wants Hamas eliminated completely. Especially that there's only a few battalions that are left, and we're going to be talking about that here in this article. Rafah, which borders Egypt, is the only place where humanitarian aid is consistently entering Gaza, and Israeli military operations there could hinder what few basic necessities many Palestinian civilians have access to, including food, water, and medical aid. Military operations in Rafah could lead to a slaughter in Gaza, said Martin Griffiths, the UN's emergency relief coordinator, in a statement last week. They could also leave an already fragile humanitarian operation at death's door. To address those concerns, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he ordered his military to draft a plan to evacuate civilians before the invasion. That's that plan that I was telling you where they're trying to put them on the beach with all these tents, supposedly. But I haven't seen much information coming out on that yet. If they do put anything out, I will let you know. Israel's main ally, the U.S., has backed a move into Rafah, but only if a plan is created to keep civilians safe. Speaking at the same conference as Gantz over the weekend, Netanyahu said it was necessary to root out Hamas everywhere they are hiding, arguing we cannot leave a quarter of Hamas's terrorist battalions intact. So you see what I mean? They're claiming that they've got like 25% or less of Hamas to eliminate, and that's it. So they don't want to just leave a small amount so that way Hamas can regrow again. It's kind of like a cancer, you know, if you want to remove a cancer, you got to get rid of all of it. You can't just remove part of the cancer. You got to get rid of all of it. Otherwise, it'll just regrow again, right? Is kind of how I see that. Once you destroy the battalions, there is no organized command and control structure, he said. You're left with individual terrorists, which we mop up with ground action. So he's basically stating here that it'd be much easier to deal with Hamas if they don't have a structure, if they dismantle them, basically. Although military and regional political analysts warn that Hamas represents an ideology and will be extremely difficult to wipe out. Israel insists the group's military capabilities can be degraded, and Netanyahu has said victory is within reach. So they're going to be going in here, okay? Within the next few weeks here, the next 3 weeks, maybe even sooner if something happens, they may be going in here, okay, by March 10th. So for sure by then, they're going to be moving into Rafah and engaging with Hamas. Again, I don't understand how they're going to get all these people out if you're in time. That's a lot of people to evacuate in a very short amount of time. So it's going to be bad if there's people that choose to stay there in Rafah and choose not to leave. There's going to be a lot of innocent people that are going to be killed, and it's not going to be good, because I'm sure this last bit of bombings and ground operation is going to be very extreme. Okay, because it's the last bit of Hamas supposedly that they need to take out. So anyway, I have something else real quick too that I want to share. I think that this is very interesting information to share for you. This is regarding Israel and their economy. So let's talk about this just for a moment. So there's an article coming out here that says war-battered economy plunged almost 20%, marking sharpest contraction since the pandemic. So apparently Israel's economy has tanked heavily. Okay, so now I will say that I have a personal connection to somebody who lives in Israel. He lives in Tel Aviv. He's a friend of mine, and I talked to him a little while back. It was just right around when the war just got started, and Israel was basically, in a way, kind of on lockdown towards the very beginning when they got attacked. And he let me know that that basically stores were closed. You weren't allowed to go to school. You weren't allowed to go to work, really. Everybody had to stay home and shelter. So it's kind of like what happened during the pandemic, right? So during the pandemic, a bunch of stores were closing and people were, out of work, and the economy basically shut down, right? Well, that happened here, and supposedly their economy shrank by 20%. So that's a major hit. Um, and it's there's some information here. We'll kind of go over this just a little bit. Israel's economy shrank by nearly 1/5 in the last 3 months of 2023 as war with the Hamas terror group in Gaza took a heavy toll on consumer spending. Trade and investment data released Monday showed the country's gross domestic product recorded a 19.4% drop off of its annual rate in the fourth quarter of 2023, according to the preliminary figures published by the Central Bureau of Statistics. So around that time was what I was talking about, where my connection told me that everything was locked down, basically. So yeah, it says right here the decline marks the deepest 3 month tumble since the second quarter of 2020, when the economy plunged almost 30% as the coronavirus pandemic related lockdowns hurt consumer spending and left many businesses closed. So, relating to this, I just, the reason why I brought this up is that I want you to understand here too how committed Israel is to this. So, look at how badly their economy has been damaged, right? They're gonna have to commit to this. They've already hurt their economy extremely bad, and it's being hurt even more because the Houthis down in Yemen are firing at many different Israeli bound ships that are going through the Red Sea. So lots of companies don't even want to ship product to Israel. Israel's imports in their port docks have dropped like insanely amount. I want to say about 90%. Okay, so lots of their imports are ending, and Israel's not getting much material in their country at all. So I'm sure this is affecting their businesses and everything, their supply of their country, and it's not looking good for them. So Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, has to make a decision here. Do they commit to this war down in Gaza and finish the job? Yes, that's exactly what he wants to do. And with the economy already in shambles over there in Israel, they've got nothing to lose in a way. So think about this like a cornered cat. Okay, if you corner a cat that's ready to defend itself, and the cat's got nowhere to go, what do? They strike, right? The cat will strike. That's kind of where Israel's at right now. They're cornered here. If they back up and they come out of Rafah, that means that they're allowing Hamas to stay there and eventually attack Israel again. But they don't want to do that. It's just like the whole cancer analogy that I brought up. You got to remove the cancer completely, right? So, I'm showing you that information because it's very important to understand here that economics plays a huge role, because they need money, obviously, to fund this war. So now that their economy is taking such a huge hit, they don't have a lot of time. Okay, they're going to continue to take a hit, and their economy is going to tank more and more and more the further this goes on. And there's a lot of talk as well that Israel may be going to war with Hezbollah after this. It's very possible, because they're gonna have to deal with Hezbollah now, who clearly does not want to discontinue their attacks on Israel in the north. So it's not looking good for Israel. Israel's in a really bad position here, and they're gonna have no choice but to go in on Rafah, all at a time where their economy is struggling heavily. Okay, and countries are pushing back all over the world. I'll be doing some videos on UN Security Council putting out resolutions. The U.S. is pushing for resolutions for a ceasefire, at least a temporary ceasefire pause, so they can negotiate and not move into Rafah, because this is going to be really bad if they do it. But it looks to me like Benjamin Netanyahu is going to go in there no matter what anybody says. He's been like that from the very beginning. He stuck to his word, and he said, we're going to eliminate Hamas. No one's going to stop us. No court is going to stop us. The United States is not going to stop us. Nobody is going to prevent Israel from eliminating Hamas. They are hell-bent on destroying them, and they will do whatever they have to do to get down there and destroy Hamas. So expect this operation to go in Rafah here in the next 3 weeks. All right? So as soon as more information comes out on this, I will definitely update you, but that's the latest that I have on the Rafah invasion situation and Israel's economy. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, and YouTube can notify you as soon as a new video goes live. So with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody enjoy your Tuesday. Take care and God bless. We'll see you in the next one.